Oh man. Look at her. She's stunning. Shiny exoskeleton, tomato red color, big round eyes, fat gaster. She's everything a young fire ant queen should be. And look at her, standing protectively over her new pile of eggs. Now, if I were a new, naive, and inexperienced antkeeper, I'd be thrilled at the idea that I was about to be the owner of a fire ant colony. But I know better. Having had many years of experience with this formidable ant species, let's just say fire ants and I have a love-hate relationship. Though it's been a while since I've owned fire ants, and I've pretty much enjoyed my peaceful fire ant-free existence thus far by just keeping other easier ant species, I think I just might be ready for things to get hot again. I remember and know exactly what to expect as I look at the starting fire ant queen with brood. And well, all I gotta say is, here we go again. AC Fire Ant Colony, Generation 3. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Welcome to the AC family. Enjoy. AC family, this is the start of another big journey, I'm sure. I'm grateful to be here with all of you watching for another round of fire ant madness up ahead from this day on. I've got some epic plans for this queen and her future fire ant army, but do stay tuned until the end as I'll be needing all of your help, and we'll be asking you a very important question. I'll also be updating you guys on what happened to my last fire ant colony, the Phoenix Empire, whom we raised from just a pregnant queen fire ant like this a couple years ago, in case you haven't been updated on recent events. But before we get into all of that, I have to tell you how our precious fire ant queen ended up here with us. So as you may have seen in our last video, popular arachnid YouTuber Exotic Slayer was at my place, visiting with his girlfriend Jennifer. And to our surprise, a fire ant nuptial flight was happening on the last night they were over. At first we found 2 queens in my garbage can, of all places. Then later went outside to find a ton more fire ant queens. This was a crazy event, because if you're new to ants, every species has their period of a few days in a year when virgin queens and male ants take to the air to mate. Essentially an annual breeding event for ants. And it's always a narrow time window when antkeepers like myself have the opportunity to catch newly impregnated queens to start new ant colonies. Now, I've been wondering when the great nuptial flight of the fire ants was going to happen in my country, and this year, it happened to be this past week. I collected as many as I could, but catching them like this right when they fly isn't the best time to catch the queens, because there's a greater chance the queens hadn't had the opportunity to mate yet. The best time is to catch them wandering around the next day, when the chances of the queens having actually mated are greater. Nonetheless, I wasn't even sure if I'd find any of these fire ant queens the next day. So to be sure, I collected as many queens as I could. And some even were already breaking off their wings, which was a good sign. I created test tube setups for each queen and prayed at least one of them was mated. The next day, I couldn't find any wandering queens, so it was a good thing I caught many the night before, in the middle of the nuptial flight event. And well guys, from a whole box of test-tubed queens, only 1 queen from the batch ended up laying eggs just 2 days later. And here she is, in all her glory. The queen fire ant sits caring for a big pile of eggs. This queen had already broken off her wings right when we caught her, which can be a good indicator that she had already mated. But just so you guys know, there is still a chance she hadn't. If some of you recall the last fire ant queen I tried raising into a colony back in 2021, She also ended up laying eggs, but sadly later was found ignoring her eggs, leaving them all scattered, meaning she wasn't fertilized and was raising unfertilized dud eggs. Let's hope this queen had indeed mated. What should we name her, guys? Let me know in the comments. She sits protectively hunched over her batch of 22 or so eggs. She's certainly been busy and has been wasting no time. Now, as mentioned, fire ants like her are invasive, meaning they aren't native to where I live, but have pretty much taken over things, ecologically speaking. They're originally from South America, and this species of fire ant, like most other fire ant species the world over, have successfully migrated to other tropical and subtropical countries and established themselves. In the US, a related species Solenopsis invicta, aka Rifa, or red imported fire ants, have caused lots of devastation in the areas they're found, where they raise plant insects, making them a very dangerous agricultural pest, and cause a nuisance to humans having to deal with their presence. This queen here is the species Solenopsis geminata, a more tropical cousin of the red imported fire ants of the US, but just as notorious, hated, and feared. I think one of the things that has led fire ants to become so successful at invading the entire world is how quickly their colonies grow compared to other ant species. If this queen is indeed mated and these eggs are fertilized, and I feed them enough, this queen's colony will be soaring in the millions by the end of the year. Colony growth like this is not typical in other ant species. And in nature, the faster you can grow your ant colony into a huge working army, the better chances of success, which has given fire ants the upper hand in the game of ant life, allowing them to outcompete other native species of ants. But for now, I'm going to enjoy this initial founding stage, while things are nice and slow. So this queen will care for these eggs, licking them clean with her antiseptic saliva, so they don't grow mold, until they hatch. Then once the larvae hatch from these eggs, she'll feed them a self-made nutritious soup created from muscle tissue in her back that was initially used to power her flight when she had wings. The soup will nourish the growing larvae until they pupate, then create the first generation of fire ant workers, known as nanitics. The nanitics will then be tasked to find the colony's first real meal and take over baby care duties and caring for the queen, nest maintenance, food collection, and every other facet of ant life, while the queen just lays eggs for the rest of her life. Now, though it isn't known how long fire ant queens live, my first fire ant colony, the Mighty Fire Nation, lived to be just over 4 years old, until I discovered the colony numbers simply dissipated to nothing, which meant the queen had died. Their successors, the Phoenix Empire, whose queen I caught in 2020, if still alive, should be reaching about 3 years old now. Now, as an update, I say if they're still alive, because I had to rehome them before moving to my current location, because there was just no way to transport their entire Avatar-themed floating mountains paludarium safely to our new ant house. I ended up giving them to someone in my building, who for some reason I can no longer get in touch with. I sometimes wonder if the colony ended up eating him in his sleep or something. Anyway, as hard as these ants are to keep, a part of me is elated that Mother Nature has chosen me to be an owner yet again of another fire ant colony. Undoubtedly the hardest species of ant I've ever had to keep. They're hard to feed once they get really big, hard to contain, as they're always looking for a weakness in their setup to attain freedom, and their super painful stings are not fun. But I think the crazy ant keeper part of me thoroughly enjoys the challenge and constant struggle to keep up with their care. Or else die. Okay, not literally die, but risk a mass fire ant escape in the home, and or stings. A part of me enjoys having to devise and create housing plans, feeding plans, quick thinking on my toes when unplugging tubes to rearrange setups and such. I always feel my ant-keeping faculties are tested to the max when caring for fire ants. And well, I'm elated to also start this new fire ant journey with all of you once again. It's round 3, guys. And so now I ask you, if this queen is indeed fertilized and these eggs are our future nanitics in the making, what should we name our new fire ant colony? Let me know in the comments. And your AC Senate and I will choose our top 5 favorites for all of us to vote on in a future video. As fun as it is owning some of the easier ant species I show on the channel, I sometimes feel this channel just isn't the same without fire ants to shake things up a little. Or a lot. Anyone else agree? But I know, with all of your help, we can care for fire ants again and make the most of the ant keeping experience. Thank you all for watching, and remember to hit the like button as it really helps a lot, to let YouTube know you enjoyed these ant videos and that they're worth sharing to new audiences. And hit the subscribe button to be part of this new and exciting journey as we raise this new queen fire ant into a powerful fire ant kingdom of millions. AC family, this is going to be one crazy ride, one that I've been waiting years to re-ride with all of you. Let's do this, guys. AC Fire Ant Colony, Gen 3. Why? Because it's ant love forever. Even fire ants. Hope you can subscribe to the channel as we upload every Saturday at 8 AM Eastern Standard Time. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video to help us keep making more. It's ant love forever.